line, and there the Chiefs will go on offense. First down and 10 with a 10-point lead. James Davis was down to make the special teams play. I talked to one of the Raider officials, Mike Ornstein, at halftime. Asked him what he thought of the touchdown play. Said it wasn't good. Only one foot was in.
Well, this has just become too much of an issue now. As opposed to settling issues, it's created more issues. And the lack of communication is just something that I simply cannot accept. That's the easiest thing in the replay system.
There sure have been a lot of days after, though, where the headlines on a game were about the replay system. Now Blackledge at quarterback. Brings Stephon Page in motion. Boy screen hit hard. Coming up was the strong safety, number 30, Stacy Turan, to pop him at the 22-yard line. His lunge ahead carried him out to about the 23. It'll be second down and 7. Rich Baldinger is in at right tackle now for the Chiefs, replacing Dave Lutz, who went out with an injured knee. A standout player who doesn't perhaps get the credit he deserves except from his coaches and teammates, Dave Lutz.
And I also noticed that in the Raider defensive backfield, you've got Sam Seal playing cornerback for Mike Haynes and Stephon Adams playing safety for Ben McElroy. Haynes out with that injured knee. McElroy was ejected.
Second down and 7. Blackledge goes to Mike Pruitt. And he hits to the 25-yard line, so it brings up third down and 5. That big backer from Penn State, Matt Millen, filled and made the stop for the Raiders.
And I don't think either team has really gained a lot of yards to produce 24 points on the board. Blackledge hasn't been particularly impressive throwing the ball. Neither is Mark Wilson. But the turnovers, the missed punt snap by Ray Guy, Kansas City had very few yards to drive for touchdowns. So the scoreboard belies the yardage gain for both teams.
Blackledge on third down. He needs 5. He'll take about a 15-yard loss. The Raiders come smoking. Howard Long was the first man through to get the sack. And so now the Chiefs have to punt the ball, and the Raiders could get excellent field position because the punter Colbert will be in his end zone.
Here's Baldinger. He's on Howie Long. Baldinger is replacing Lutz. And Howie Long just runs around him and gets to Blackledge. And Sean Jones there. I believe that's the second sack of the day for the Los Angeles Raiders.
Louis Colbert, a rookie from Auburn, standing in his end zone for Kansas City. Back deep for the Raiders is Fulton Walker, right at midfield. Into a bright sunny day in Kansas City. Temperature in the 60s. Perfect conditions. Walker looks for the lane and busts it up the middle. And Fulton Walker is down to the 43-yard line of the Chiefs. And so in 12:55 to go in the third quarter. It'll be the Raiders taking over the ball for the first time in the second half with good field position, something they didn't have early in the game when Kansas City got its first possession on the Raider 12. Turned that into a field goal. Short time later, after a fumbled snap, got the ball on the Raiders side again, and shortly thereafter Boyce Green was in with a touchdown run. It was 10-0. And after that, on the touchdown throw from Blackledge to Kaufman, it turned into a 17-0 game. It appeared the Raiders were gone. They were not. They're down 17-7 now in good field position. McCallum hits the wall, and the wall doesn't give. He got 1 down to the 42. Radisek led the charge for the Chiefs on defense.
And on the other side of that wall was Art Still, defensive end of the Chiefs, number 67. One of the all-time great defensive players who is a vegetarian. It is a very difficult time holding his weight, but incredible strength.
Tremendous player. Art Still and his wife have 3 children, and they hope over the next years to have 10.
Oh, my goodness.
Either naturally or through adoption. Getting so Art, when he goes home, is afraid to ask what's new. Sideline pass to Dokie Williams. He's down to the 30-yard line. Quick throw on the flank, and Mark Wilson's on the numbers of Dokie Williams. Cofield, that young linebacker, was covering on the play best as he could.
Once again, zone coverage by the Chiefs. It looked like Cofield just didn't get out there underneath Dokie Williams.
Another timing pattern, this time to Jesse Hester, who's down inside the 25-yard line. Pays the price as Kevin Ross came up to hit him hard, but he held on. You remember the Raiders were dropping balls in the first half.
That was man-to-man coverage. Ross was a little soft there. He's off about 8 yards. You have to respect these Raider receivers' speed. Hester and Doki Williams, both great downfield pass receivers. More zone from Kansas City will help here.
Tremendous matchup between Art Still and the veteran right tackle of the Raiders, Henry Lawrence. Second down and a long 3 for the Raiders. Wilson, a timing pattern inside the 15-yard line, and Doki Williams makes the connection again. It's a first down for the Raiders if they come out in their first possession of the second half, driving the ball behind the right arm of Mark Wilson.
Albert Lewis, single coverage. I'm telling you, you got to give credit to the Raiders. As beat up as they are, as banged up as they are, and as much as they've struggled, this team figures out how to win. Kansas City had this ball game totally in control, and now momentum on the side of the Raiders.
McCallum. Napoleon McCallum up the middle and takes it down into the end zone. Standing up, touchdown Raiders.
The first instant to score in the NFL.
McCallum it was, up the middle for a touchdown.
Nice trap play up front by the Raider offensive line. You see Lawrence set up, he passes him, and then the trap on him. Charlie Hanna, you try to get the aggressive defensive lineman that comes across and then miss tackles. McCallum, a big dude when he gets those long legs going. And the Raiders back in this ball game, Don.
And the Chiefs, who appeared on their way to a blowout victory, now find themselves down, up by just 3 points as the extra point is drilled through by Barr. 10:18 to play in the third quarter. And the Raiders have scored 14 unanswered points to come back. Chris Barr, who just hit the point after, now ready to kick it off for the L.A. Raiders, who've come back to trail now 17-14 after they were down 17-0. Jeff Smith for the Chiefs. And Kansas City will go from its 24-yard line, and from here the Chiefs would do well to move the ball and not give it back to the Raiders in field position. You'll remember the last time, the opening series on the first of the third quarter, Kansas City ended up punting from its end zone, and the Raiders subsequently took it in.
Don, I think the injury to David Lutz is a key injury to this Kansas City offense. Baldinger now taking his place. The Raiders try to find mismatches for Howie Long. I would tend to think that Baldinger is going to see a lot of Howie Long in passing situations, trying to put added pressure on Blackledge. He's on him now.
Unbeaten Atlanta trailing Philadelphia in Georgia 10-0 still. Here is a handoff, and running with the ball is Boyce Green, a 215-pound running back who, like his fellow back for the Kansas City Chiefs, Mike Pruitt, was originally a Cleveland Brown.
Cleveland 17, Pittsburgh 14.
McCallum has run the ball 8 times for 42 yards. His last carry was good for the touchdown for the Raiders. As the Chiefs lead 17-0 in the second quarter, is now down to 17-14. Pruitt looking for something on 2nd and 6, got a little bit to the 32. Jerry Robinson, the 8-year veteran linebacker from UCLA, made the stop for the Raiders.
Here comes Jeff Smith into the ball game for the Chiefs. Been an excellent receiver out of the backfield. You can get that linebacker coverage on Jeff Smith. Blackledge has got a good receiver.
Big play players have not done a lot today. Stephon Page has made a couple of grabs, but for the most part they've given him trouble running his deep routes. Now a handoff goes to Jeff Smith. It looked like, wow, Blackledge was afraid he didn't make the connection on the handoff.
Yeah,
he whirled after the ball like he'd have to recover a fumble. The play did not go, though. On 3rd and 3, they didn't get there. So again, the Chiefs have to punt the ball from their own end, and the Raiders in position on what's now a sunny day to get good field position.
Second straight 3 downs and out for the Chiefs. Sometimes you coaches sit on the sideline and let's be conservative here. Let's not put the ball up for an interception. And this is just as bad if you don't convert the third down.
Denver starting the day 4-0 in the AFC West. They go against Dallas later today. Seahawks at 3-1 are off them tomorrow night when they'll hook up with San Diego. That'll be the Kingdome in Seattle. High hit downfield. Colbert drives Fulton Walker back inside his 15-yard line, and there's nothing there.
Nice tackle.
There's a lateral. Davis has the ball, and he has trouble. So the Chiefs special teams give Kansas City its first big effort of the second half. A big play as the Raiders, when they thought they got good field position or extend, pinned in their own end, and they'll have it there 1st and 10 when we come back. With Bob Trumpy back at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City after a 55-yard punt that pinned the Raiders back inside their 15-yard line. There was a penalty call, and so Kansas City has to try it again now. Man downfield early and dropping back inside his 15 again is the rookie from Auburn, Lewis Colbert. Fulton Walker standing at the Raiders 29 looking for the return. High punt, but not too deep. Walker signals for and makes the fair catch at the Raiders 38. So instead of starting at their 12, they start at their 38. Now here's a marker down after the play.
That's against Kansas City, too. Looked like Aaron Pearson took a late shot on a Los Angeles Raider. So you attack 15 yards onto this.
Wow.
Raiders again start in the plus field position across the 50.
Raiders find a way, don't they? It looked like they were gone in this game, and early in the second quarter they were down 17-0.
These teams are Houdinis. I mean, you put them in handcuffs, you lock them in jail, and they get out. By all rights, they should not be in this game. They certainly are.
It's not complex how they do it. Standout athletes who never quit trying and play as hard as they can on every down. They make something happen.
And this team knows how to win. You give them just a little bit, a break here and there, and the Raiders know how to take care of it.
Coach Flores told us, he said, even when we were 0-3, we knew we're still a good team. They could very easily be 3-1. Yeah, they come into this game with a 1-3 record. The three teams they've lost to, as we mentioned earlier, have a combined record of 11-1 through the first 3 weeks of the season. Denver, Washington, and the Giants. Long ball to Jesse Hester, and the coverage is good by Kevin Ross. So it's incomplete. Wilson's hurt. Now while we have a moment, let's go to Bob Costas at NFL 86.
Don, they've just gone to the fourth quarter in Pittsburgh. The Steelers lead the Browns 21-20 because of this touchdown pass. Mark Malone to Lewis Lips 6 yards. He takes a hard shot but hangs onto the ball. The touchdown was set up when Gerald McNeil of the Browns, who earlier had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, fumbled a punt, and Steelers recovered.
Back here, thank you, Bob, at Kansas City, Mark Wilson is down with an injured right hand. As we mentioned earlier, he did have a thumb problem. He's had a continuing problem with his right thumb. They might be looking at his wrist. So while they check that out, Jim Plunkett takes some snaps to warm up. We'll take a break in the action with 7:29 to go in the third quarter.
You can see the injury. That's Cofield coming from the left. When Wilson follows through, his arm hits right on the back of the shoulder pads of Tim Cofield. Looks like he jams his thumb, which is already taped. So Jim Plunkett, the ageless wonder, back in the ballgame.
Soon to be 39 years old, the quarterback of 2 Raiders Super Bowl winners. End up to McCallum, and on 2nd and 10, he breaks it down to the 41-yard line of Kansas City. While he was in front, Wilson completed 9 of 16 for 81 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Had a problem with a misconnection from his center down Mosbar, remember, early in the game, and quickly thereafter, the Chiefs, with the fumble recovery, took it in for a touchdown from scrimmage on a run by Boyce Green.
This is a big series here for the Chiefs. They stop them. They can stop this momentum. The Raiders, I think, realize that. They'll be very conservative here, Don.
Jim Plunkett gets some time, lets her go, going for it is Todd Christensen. Did he catch it? He did at the 21-yard line.
Great catch.
An all-pro play by an all-pro player. Christensen, a diving reception. Is that his first of the day? First for Christensen.
You'll see they've got Albert Lewis on him man-to-man. No hold up at the line of scrimmage.
Second
Plunkett just puts it there perfectly. We can't really see his feet at the bottom. But here we go. From here, we'll watch this replay. You see the hand fighting between the two. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. First thing that came down, it looked like his knee on the sideline. Can we see it again quickly?
You usually give it to the tight end if both feet are out of bounds.
No. No particular preference to the tight end. Watch again. The first thing that hits, he's got to have both feet down in ground.
They're in. He drags
Now wait a minute. Let's see where the contact is.
He's in.
Oh, I tell you what, it looks in.
He's in.
Slow down a little more. It looks in. That is a whale of a catch.
Now the Raiders did get a touchdown. You remember earlier that should have been disallowed, but there was a breakdown in communications. Speaking the same language, there was a problem. They just couldn't. One man said incomplete, the other construed it to say incomplete.
Well, let's get an interpreter from the United Nations. Maybe that'll handle that.
Bob Frederick, the referee, in council now with Jack Reeder of the NFL office.
Now, while we're watching this, the NFL replay official has his own replay machines over there to watch everything that we have run. This is a tough call. Did the knee hit inbound?
The knee was out. Now you know you're starting to look better.
Inconclusive. Wait a minute. Now we got another one. The guy upstairs says it's inconclusive.
After review by the instant replay, the play stands for a completed pass. First down.
Inconclusive now. We got indisputable. We got inconclusive. We got unreachable.
Wow. I'm telling you, it's been something. Jim Plunkett in for injured Mark Wilson here in the third quarter. 6:29 to play in it. The Kansas City Chiefs holding to a 17-14 lead over the LA Raiders. After Kansas City led early in the game 17-0. Don't knock the California boys out until your final gun sounds and you're up on them as McCallum runs on 1st and 10. He gets down to the 18-yard line. Art Still made the tackle. Art Still of the Kansas City Chiefs was the second player selected in the entire draft back in 1978. The first player selected that year has already retired, but he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame someday. Who is he?
1978, already retired.
He was MVP in the National Football League 3 times. Who is he?
I'm looking like a real fool here, aren't I?
Earl Campbell.
No kidding. I thought he came in 77. Or he was a Heisman Trophy winner in 77.
There's a throw into the end zone. It's touchdown Raiders. Jesse Hester has the ball.
I don't believe it.
Jim Plunkett drills a perfect throw, and Jesse Hester goes up and comes down with it. And the Raiders, down 17-0, have now rallied to take a 20-17 lead with the extra point coming up.
I don't believe it.
Believe it.
How does this Raider team wiggle out of these spots? Pass protection first. I think Plunkett knows from the outset where he's going. Hester catches it once, catches it twice. It's in there. Cofield underneath. Kevin Ross on top. I don't believe it. These guys are amazing, Don Criqui.
Get it done. Bad California boys. In here fighting, punching. We'll see it winning, but right now the extra point by Bauer is up and good, so that puts the Chiefs down by 4. It's a 21-17 game. The Raiders with 21 unanswered points, 7 of them on a mistake. Tradition of playing beat the clock and coming from behind the final 2 minutes. Well, right now they've done it in the third quarter, down 17-7 at the outset of the second quarter, trailing 17-7. Now they're backing up by 21-17 count. 3 unanswered touchdowns.
You can't give this Raider team enough credit. I mean, as Al Davis said, if we can steal another one today without our big guy, we'll be in good shape for the rest of the season, and that's what they're doing.
Long way to go, though, and Kansas City needs some big plays. There's the kickoff out of bounds, and so it'll be a penalty against the Raiders, and Chris Barr will kick off from his 30.
Get this now. Just think about this. They're playing without their best running back, Marcus Allen, without their starting fullback, and Frank Hawkins, without their starting quarterback, Mark Wilson, without their free safety in Van McElroy, leading 21-17.
Van McElroy was ejected.
Correct. I don't understand how they get it done. But year in and year out, week in and week out, you give them just that much room. Not enough room you can see through, but room you know is there. And boy, they leap through it. All 20, all 45 of them.
Marcus Allen there, the man that Howard Long calls the toughest man I ever met. But even a severely sprained ankle, and Howard Long's best pal is the much admired Marcus Allen can't go today. But in his absence, the Raiders might win their second game. He was out last week when they won their first against San Diego. But there is one of the Raider touchdowns by the ruling of the league official in the press box was a mistake. He said he told the official that it was incomplete. The official misconstrued him to say complete, and the touchdown went. Now Jeff Smith tries to break the crust, but he hits down at the 30-yard line. Miami in disarray. The defense is gone. The once proud Shula tradition, the Killer Bees, they've been swatted. 34-7 New England in the fourth quarter. And Philadelphia holding to a 10-0 advantage on unbeaten Atlanta in the fourth quarter. They're playing it on Atlanta's home field. Looks like the Steelers 0 for the 70s and now into the 80s at Three Rivers will continue. Chiefs need big plays badly. Their offense hasn't been here in the third quarter. Raider defense inspired now by the comeback. Incomplete at the 43-yard line. Big Henry Marshall was the intended receiver. Mike Haynes was covering. You remember Mike went out in the second quarter with a turned ankle that they x-rayed. He's all right. Back in and going hard.
Excellent man-to-man coverage there. Bump and run all over the place. See 84 Paul Kaufman coming into the huddle. The plays are shuttled back and forth to Todd Blackledge from the sideline by tight ends. And also notice the Raiders are continuing to keep Howie Long on Rich Baldinger at offensive right tackle. That's where David Lutz was. Watch the pass rush there.
Tough down now. They'll be throwing in all probability on 2nd down and 10, and the Raiders pass rush ready to come hard. Blackledge from his 21. Tip ball incomplete. 3rd and 10 Chiefs. 5:20 to go, third quarter, and the Raiders have come from 17 points down to take a 21-17 lead.
A reminder, so far in the second half, the Chiefs have gone 3 downs and out twice, and facing it again here now with 3rd down and 10. Whatever they were doing in the first half, they can't get done in the second half. And now the position you don't want to be in, and that is turn that pass rush of the Raiders loose. It's exactly what's going to happen. They bring the 4th one in Greg Townsend, and they're all in their sprinter stances, heading upfield.
The Chiefs started 3-1 a year ago. Just as they started 3-1 this season a year ago, they lost their next 7 games after they went 3-1 and ended up 6-10 for the year. Now Blackledge throws. There's a completion and a drop. It would not have been a first down anyway, as the hit was made at the 38-yard line of Kansas City. 3 yards short of the first down marker. So Blackledge again comes off, and the punter goes out. Now Mark Wilson is trotted back out for the Raiders.
Can't see if he's got anything extra on his hand or wrist. Looks all right. See the way Plunkett threw in his 3 or 4 plays in there. I think I'd leave Jim Plunkett right in there.
Raider doctor Bob Rosenfeld went off with him. They apparently had a quick x-ray, and he must be all right. Here is the hit downfield now. Fulton Walker for the Raiders from his 28. Not easy money returning those punts. Fulton Walker gets it back out to the 34-yard line. Aaron Pearson made the stop for Kansas City. The Chiefs defense now seems to not have the intensity, at least the confidence it had earlier.
This is the craziest part of the game of football. There are bodies flying, eyes closed. That is no fun out there on those suicide squads, although they're a big part of success in the NFL.
They say all those young punt returners come into the league thinking they're bulletproof. They learn
Quickly.
Fulton Walker's been doing it a long time. 6 years in West Virginia, 4 years with the Dolphins. Plunkett got his man out to the 44-yard line. The gain on the play of 6 yards where they spot the ball. Jesse Hester takes it. His last catch was for the touchdown.
Kevin Ross in coverage. I have not seen Kansas City come with their 5 or 6 defensive back set since early in the second quarter. That I thought was the best defensive look that the Chiefs have had against the Raiders today. Seen a lot of single coverage. They're trying to put pressure on the quarterback here.
One thing, this AFC West is some division. You don't see a bad ball game here.
Is it? You're absolutely right.
2nd down and 2. The carry is going to be very close to the first down by Steve Strahan. Last year, the AFC West teams had a combined record of 45 and 35. That was the best record in the NFL.
And of course, they
have to play each other. That's the hard part.
An AFC Western Division team stayed home last year with 11 wins. Denver won't let us forget that. That's how they stand this year.
Outside of the day, Seattle waiting on a game tomorrow night with San Diego. Believe it or not, the best record in the AFC West this year belongs to the Washington Redskins. They're 2-0 in the division.
Is that right? Yeah. I didn't realize that.
Beating 2 AFC Western teams. The way the scheduling goes, Denver, the LA Raiders, and the Seattle have very tough scheduling against these teams in the East. In San Diego, Kansas City gets a break because of its last place finish at 6-10. I think they play Buffalo twice. St. Louis twice. Definitely a Buffalo twice. Dropping to throw now is Jim Plunkett. First down throw. It's caught by Christensen at the 45-yard line of Kansas City. First down play, 7-yard gain.
Whitney Paul here is personally assigned to Todd Christensen.
Henry Lawrence is down, a big Raider tackle holding his right knee.
And watch this. Look at the job that Paul does on Christensen. Christensen pushes off. That should be allowed by all tight ends. Plunkett with great confidence in Todd Christensen makes the catch.
Todd Christensen with 25 receptions coming into today's game, 25 through the first 4, so he's on target for a 100 reception year. So far today he's caught 3 for 35. Henry Lawrence, who has been a tremendous player for the Los Angeles Raiders for 13 seasons out of Florida A&M, is down now being attended to. Bill Lewis will be going. I guess Shelby Jordan is going to go in as they have to help take Henry Lawrence off. One of the on-field leaders, both as a player and as just an elder statesman who inspires this team, going out with an injured leg.
Watch the right side of the screen. You can see what happens. Lawrence, who has Bill Moss roll right up the back of his leg, twisted it. Henry Lawrence is the oldest offensive tackle in the NFL.
Be sure to join us 1 week from today for exciting NFL doubleheader action. The day gets underway with NFL 86 at 12:30 Eastern Time. Join host Bob Costas along with teammates Ahmad Rashad, Paul McGuire, and Frank DeFord for all the latest news and scores from around the NFL. In the first half of the doubleheader, a key game matches the Jets against the Patriots at Foxborough. End off to Napoleon McCallum, who dives on 2nd and long 2, and he gets to the Chiefs 40, and he gets a Raider first down.
McCallum has not been very pretty today running the football. And man, he gets that body heading towards the goal line, not afraid to dive. They've done an excellent job of blocking for him. Certainly not as nifty as Marcus Allen, but he's made some key pickups on rushes today.
Marcus Allen, not only the most valuable Raider, the most valuable player in the National Football League last season. Raiders leading 21-17 after they trailed 17-0. McCallum on 1st and 10. Mark Robinson, the strong safety from Penn State, starting for the injured Lloyd Burris, has made about 4 key plays today. That was one of them.
Obviously a very good tackler, as safeties should be.
McCallum running the ball well.
12 carries, 55 yards. He had over 50 last week. The Ensigns made a good account of himself here.
Christensen had only 1 reception when Mark Wilson was in. Plunkett's already hit him 3 times. Looking again. Penalty marker down as the throw and catch are made. Jokey Williams has the ball down to the 27, but it could be a hold against the Raiders.
It is.
1:48 to go in the third quarter.
Jim Plunkett looked pretty agile there. He moved around. He surprised a lot of people for a lot of years. He's another one of those guys.
Offensive holding, number 79.
That's on Bruce Davis. My comment on Jim Plunkett. He surprised a lot of people for a lot of years, and another one of those true competitors. I mean, gritty, down and dirty competitors. Interesting thing, too, I think Plunkett calls his own plays when he's in there. Mark Wilson has the plays called for him when he's a quarterback.
Second down and 21. Here comes McCallum. Upended by Albert Lewis, the cornerback from Grambling, playing with a thigh muscle pull. They were concerned he'd have to come out once the game was underway, but he's gone every step of the way so far.
First time that the Kansas City Chiefs have slowed the Raiders down in this second half, Don. You realize that? Third down and about 20. Here's Al Davis. He's in the coach's box now. To heck with that owner's box. He's in there behind the coaches making suggestions. Coming with this, coming with that.
Third down and 19 for the Raiders. They lead 21-14, or 21-17. Plunkett gets it away, and the catch is made by Christensen, but he's immediately hit and knocked back from the 42-yard line of Kansas City. So the Raiders will have to punt the ball.
Mark Robinson's done an excellent job today playing strong safety. For Lloyd Burris, been just outstanding. Been all over Christensen.
Atlanta's unbeaten season apparently coming to an end today at the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles. Green Bay's winless season continuing. A good 0-5 will the Packers. Some of those losers be getting in line before long in the Vinny Testaverde Bowl. Gun sounds before the play can get off, and so at the end of 3/4 of play, it is the Raiders rallying from behind, and after trailing earlier in the game 17-0, it is now a 21-17 game. The Raiders are in the lead as we go to the fourth. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy back at sold-out Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where the Chiefs have won their last 5 home games, the longest win streak in the 15-year history of Arrowhead. They look like they'd win one of their biggest in a long time, certainly since their victory over the Raiders last year when they went up 17-0 today in the Raiders. Another bad snap. It's a good snap, but a drop ball by Guy. This time he gets it off. Right now, as the Chiefs get it back in their own end, they are down in the game 21-17, as the Raiders have scored 3 touchdowns to none for Kansas City after the Chiefs had that big early lead.
Second time that's happened to Ray Guy. Ball bounced right out of his hands like they were cardboard. Still gets it off. And the Raiders, since the second quarter, have dominated this football game. They've gotten the bounces their way, kept pressure on Blackledge. And look, Ray Guy saying, no, it's not you, Jamie Kimmel, the center 59. It's me, Ray Guy. It's my fault.
Chiefs offense has been very quiet since early in the second quarter. Mike Pruitt looks for room to run and find some, and Pruitt hits out across the 20 to the 21-yard line. He has a first down for the Chiefs.
Stacy Turan on the tackle. Excellent job here on the backside of keeping Howie Long off the ball carrier. Baldinger and Buddy do a great job of just tying Howie Long up so he can't make the tackle. Mike Pruitt's going to break a lot of tackles. That's a great one there by Stacy Turan. First down, Kansas City.
Stephon Page comes out wide to the right. Henry Marshall is on the left flank. First down and 10 for the Chiefs, who trail by 4 early in the fourth quarter. Big rush. Blackledge eludes it, gets it off to a tight end, Jonathan Hayes, and he gets some. They save the sack and get the ball out to the 24-yard line. A gain of only about 3 yards. but substantially better than a sack for a loss. Jerry Robinson made the tackle.
Lots of pressure from everywhere. You see Stacy Turan, 30 at the corner of the picture, leave. Long, 75. Blackledge does a great job to get that ball off. You're right, Don.
The crowd starts up with a wave now, trying to inspire the Chiefs, who've seen their lead eaten away, and the Raiders take the lead. Blackledge firing on the run. Downfield, it's too much for Walt Arnold. Stacy Turan with him step for step.
He stopped. Walt Arnold stopped on the pattern. Once again, Howie Long with pressure on Blackledge. Rich Baldinger, you don't like to point fingers at somebody, but he's replacing David Lutz. And Long really gets by him in a hurry. Blackledge has to step up. It destroys the timing of the pattern, and then the tight end stopped. And then he accelerated again. Only one wide receiver has a reception today for Kansas City. That's Stephon Page, 1 for 18 yards.
Carlos Carson, one of the Chiefs' best, went out early in the game with a sprained knee and an ankle sprain. Third down, the Chiefs need 7. Here comes the rush. Blackledge gets out to the 27-yard line. Not enough, and the Chiefs will have to punt it.
Bill Pickel does a great job of staying with Todd Blackledge. Good coverage by the Raiders. Nobody to throw to. Receivers didn't really help out. So this drive, the Chiefs run 4 plays and out. Since the second quarter, the Raiders have absolutely stonewalled the Chiefs offense.
Interesting chemistry on the Raider team. A lot of clubs down 17-0 early. Might have folded their tent. Raiders get tougher.
Not these guys.
Walker from 33. Sherman Cockcroft came down to get him. And so the Raiders go on offense at their 33-yard line. 1st and 10 when we come back with Los Angeles in the lead, 21-17. The Raiders have turned this game around as we have 12-17 left to play. They were down 17-0, down 17-7 at halftime, and now Plunkett throws a home run ball, but the Raiders' speed can't get to it.
There's a flag down too, Don.
Dokie Williams, the fastest Raider, about a yard short of it when it came down. Boy, Plunkett can really unload still, huh?
39 years old, can still get it up there.
Illegal contact, number 23 on the defense. 1st down.
I don't know how the Raiders do it, but boy, they take advantage of the situation and wear the other team down. And now you can see the Kansas City Chiefs kind of shaking their heads, wondering, how did this game get away from us?
It really a remarkable turnabout, and for the 2nd week in a row. Last Sunday at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, we saw San Diego go up 13-0 on the Raiders. The Raiders came back to win 17-13. Now Kansas City's defense hitting hard on Napoleon McCallan, knocks him down on a 1st down carry. Hit at the line of scrimmage. He did get ahead for a couple of yards, close to the 40. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Kevin Ross was the tackler. Right, Miami got on the board at a Marino touchdown throw, but probably too little too late as the Patriots are rolling at Foxborough. Philadelphia has now extended its lead to 16-0 over previously unbeaten Atlanta. Cleveland has come from behind in the 4th quarter and leads Pittsburgh at Three Rivers Stadium. The Browns have never won at Three Rivers. Green Bay on the way to an 0-5 start. They could be announcing the signing of Doug Flutie this week. Sack. Pete Potts, the defensive end, broke through and got Jim Plunkett on a 2nd and 8 play. A big loss back to the 32-yard line with 11:22 to play in the game.
2nd sack of the day for the Kansas City Chiefs. Koch has gotten both of them, I believe.
I think Bill Kenny might be going on a quarterback trump. Going in for the 1st time. We'll see.
We saw him warming up on the sideline, but I don't think that's that unusual. Get rid of nervous energy on the sideline. Never can tell, though.
I think he's going in.
Looks like it.
Third down at 17 to the draw, and Strahan takes it ahead out to the 39-yard line. And so the Raiders now have to punt it. Game clock down to 10:50 and ticking. And the Chiefs look like they're going to change pitchers and go to the veteran Bill Kenny.
He's not thrown a pass yet this year.
But he's thrown a lot of good ones in his past years here.
I'm not sure you can really put this on the shoulders of Todd Blackledge, though. He's not.
No, I don't think you can. I think they just want to change the chemistry. Blackledge, even while Kenny was warming up, was exhorting his teammates. He knows that you got to do what it takes to win, and maybe a change in pitchers can help him. The Raider defense has shut down the Kansas City offense. Jeff Smith runs back the kick out to the 27-yard line. And so with 10:17 to play, the Chiefs down by 4, take over the ball, and Bill Kenny comes in. Blackledge comes out of the game in the fourth quarter, has not been hurt, but unable to move the team over the last 2 quarters. The Chiefs coach John Mackovic elects to go to veteran Bill Kenny, a free agent from Northern Colorado who was a Pro Bowl player here at Kansas City in '83. See if the veteran can move them against this tough Raider defense. Raiders lead at 21-17 after they trailed in the second quarter 17-0. Kenny's initial play is not what was hoped for, as Rod Martin comes on a blitz and gets him.
Good idea by the Raider defense. First play with a new quarterback, run the blitz. Martin from the outside behind the quarterback gets Kenny down. He was, by the way, the winning quarterback for the Chiefs when they beat the Raiders here last year, the second game of the season on Thursday night.
Boyce Green, who you'll remember ran for a touchdown early in the game, gets the call here, and James Davis knocks him down on the second down and about 14 play. The Chiefs get ahead for a gain of about 9 yards.
That last sack by Martin, the 4th of the day by the Raiders. He now has 2. The thing that they talked so much about this week in Kansas City was Todd Blackledge's ability against Buffalo last week to bring the Chiefs from behind to win. Stays in the hands of Bill Kenny.
Raiders with a tremendous come from behind effort now. Dig in on defense as Kenny will be throwing on 3rd down and 5 with 9 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Sidearm throw won't get there, but a penalty marker might get the Chiefs anyway, as there's one down in their backfield.
77 to red, 77 offensive holding.
Rich Baldinger, who went in for injured Dave Lutz, appears to be the guilty party for the Chiefs.
He had Howie Long on him. Watch the man. That's Long on Addicks. It's Greg Townsend, number 93. That's on Rich Baldinger. Both there. The receiver had not picked up enough for the first down. But the Raiders are going to take the penalty here.
Offensive holding, number 77.
Give the Chiefs another crack at it.
Albeit a long one.
I think I'd make it 4th down for them.
Yep, they would have had a punt.
Yep.
9:04 to play. Clock running down to 9 minutes. 21-17. Raiders in the lead. One of the Raider touchdowns should have been disallowed, according to the official in the press box, but there was a breakdown in communication. It was the first Raider score. Pass from Mark Wilson to Dopey Williams. And he takes a look. Fires down the middle. He's got a man open, and the ball is lost. And Neil Harry, the first-year player from Stanford, was wide open, right where he had to be for the first down, but he couldn't hold on.
It looked like that ball was tipped by Jeff Barnes, 56. Just changed the trajectory of the pass ever so slightly. Good pass protection that time by the Chiefs. The receiver open. Watch Barnes. He goes out of the picture, top right. Let's see if we can see if he tips this ball. No, he does not touch it. Going just a little bit behind Harry, but I think you make that catch.
Good punt downfield by Colbert. Rising, Colton Walker back to his 27. And so the Raiders get the ball at their 36-yard line. First down and 10. Los Angeles in the lead, 21-17 when we come back to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Raiders continue to lead by 4 early in the game. The Chiefs dominated on offense, defense, and special teams. Now it's gone completely the other way. What's happened to them?
I don't know. I think that touchdown that shouldn't have been allowed took a lot out of the Kansas City Chiefs, but that really doesn't account for the poor play that they've had from about the second quarter on.
They were so fired up about this game where the Chiefs, Rick Donnelly, their new center, said when he first came here for a mini camp last spring, he said the players were talking about getting ready for the Raiders. That's how big the Raiders are in everybody's schedule.
Well, but unfortunately, see, the game is 4 quarters, not a quarter and a half. And the Chiefs played a quarter and a half. The Raiders have played a quarter and a half. And now it's up to the final 8 minutes of the fourth quarter to determine the winner. The Chiefs have still got a chance, too.
Jim Plunkett is in at quarterback. Mark Wilson was injured, re-injured his already troubled right thumb. There's a long ball downfield. Very good coverage. Woo! Greg Hill, who has an interception today and 3 for the season already, almost had another one. Running stride for stride with Doki Williams. Brings up 3rd down and a long 7 now for Los Angeles.
Once again, that ball was extremely well thrown by Jim Plunkett. You see Cherry on the inside. There's the receiver. He almost had that one. We haven't had a turnover in a long time, and that was really, well, the Chiefs got their 17 points on the board. All those turnovers by the Raiders in the first quarter and a half.
Raiders go back to the Coliseum to play the tough Seattle Seahawks next Sunday. 3rd and a long 7. Plunkett in trouble. Gets it away. It is caught for a first down right at midfield. Doki Williams coming back at the ball when he saw his quarterback in trouble. Pete Koch of the Chiefs protesting he was held, but there's no flag.
The thing you got to like about Jim Plunkett is his field vision. He's got bodies flying all around him, arms in his face, fingers going across his face mask, and he's still looking downfield. You see Williams makes a little move on Deron Cherry, and Plunkett somehow finds him in that mess for a first down.
And some career for Jim Plunkett. A lot of hospital time between the Heisman Trophy at Stanford and the Super Bowl MVP award. Still going strong at age 39. And now as he drops in a quick timing out. Whoa, it's almost intercepted. Instead it's caught by Doki Williams, and he takes it down to the 19. A gamble and a loss for the Chiefs.
Greg Hill goes for the interception.
He almost had it.
Well, but he's got no backup help, Don. The thing that he should have got is just for the tackle. He goes for the interception. He's got no support behind him. You can't go for the interception unless you got somebody to back you up. That's a saving tackle by Cherry, and Cofield out there also to help. The Raiders inside the 20. How do they do this? I mean, we didn't nod off anywhere, did we? I mean, we've been here for this whole game, haven't we?
They do it week after week in their storied history to the Raiders. This is one of their most dramatic comebacks in a long time, though. They go to the run, and Napoleon McCallum breaks into the Kansas City defense and gets to the 14-yard line. Eno Hackett knocked him down.
Napoleon McCallum, the ball carrier.
New England extends its record now to 3-2 with the rout of Miami, and the Dolphins, can you believe it, dropped to 1-4. The Bears are perfect at 5-0 if they win again today. Washington also a 5-0 team with a victory today. Philadelphia about to send Atlanta to its first loss of this season.
Philadelphia is winning their 2nd game in a row, too.
Against a good opponent. Handed the Rams their first loss last week.
McCallum, 17 carries, 69 yards. Plunkett, 7 of 8, 101 yards.
McCallum with Strahan blocking. And McCallum is knocked out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. The clock is stopped with 5:18 to play. The Raiders lead the game 21-17.
McCallum goes through, as I documented in the first quarter, an awful lot to be here on Sunday. His day starts at about 4 o'clock in the morning. He ends up with watching films and tape with coaches at the Raiders camp in El Segundo. This guy pays the price for 69 or 70 yards rushing on Sunday. And it's back to the Peleliu tomorrow.
Raiders and the Chiefs have been doing battle since 1960, when the Chiefs were then the Dallas Texans. They came to Kansas City in 1963. 54th meeting. And an awful lot of them been wild games. Plunkett throws. Christensen's open, puts his head down, but can't take it in as he's knocked out of bounds on the play by Mark Robinson. But it does appear to be, it is a first down for the Raiders, so they can just about put this game away with 5 minutes to go, leading 21-17. All this after the Raiders trailed in the second quarter 17-0.
How about this relief work for Jim Plunkett? Now 8 of 9, 109 yards passing, a touchdown, true grit, and a lot of leadership.
He's a tremendous athlete. He's a long distance runner, and he's very, very tough. I mean, he was an all-state linebacker in California.
It's what's inside you like most about Jim Plunkett.
McCallum takes it down to the 3-yard line. The outset of the game, the Raiders looked like the bad news Bears. Ray Guy bobbled a perfect snap on a punt attempt. Chiefs took over for the first time in the game at the Raider 12 and got a field goal out of it. Next possession, snap from Mosbar to Mark Wilson was bobbled. Chiefs got it. Shortly thereafter, they were in the end zone with a touchdown. It was 10-0. And a little while later, Chiefs went down the field. Blackledge throwing to Paul Kaufman. Another touchdown, 17-0 Kansas City. And there was joy and celebration in KC. Then it ended. Now the Raiders leading 21-17, looking to get some more as the clock ticks down with 3:45 to play.
If you're the optimistic Chiefs fan, you keep them out of the end zone, you can still tie this ball game, send it in overtime. You're darn sure well, though, got to keep them out of the end zone, or it's just a hope shot from there on out. Great day by McCallum. His first start.
Enthusiasm's really gone out of the crowd too. This was the first game sold out in Kansas City early enough for local television to be on, local coverage of the game. That, of course, the 72-hour rule in 7 years. Last time was 1979.
Did you see Jim Plunkett there? He just stood next to the official, watched the 30-second clock until it ticked down to 1, then took a timeout. Now, see, that's things that a veteran quarterback will do for you. Realizing there's only 3 minutes left, knew he was going to take a timeout. Some young kids turn around and say, give me a timeout, I'm going to the sideline. Plunkett uses 25 seconds first.
Doubleheader day. The Jets go against the New England Patriots. Next Sunday, Buffalo's at Miami. Kansas City goes to Cleveland, when right now the Browns are holding on to a 3-point lead at Pittsburgh. And then the doubleheader games. Denver's at San Diego, and Seattle goes against the LA Raiders at Los Angeles. It's all next Sunday, preceded by NFL 86.
There's the defensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, Walt Corey, the man there in the glasses with the headset. John Malkovich in the red sweater right behind him. This is one that got away, or was taken away by the Raiders.
Well, it's going to be a tough one now for this young Kansas City team to come back from, because we mentioned earlier, a season ago they started out 3-1 and were rolling. But then the bad times came. They lost 7 games in a row and ended up with a 6-10 record for the season. This year they started 3-1 again. Coach Malkovich said it's a different team, more aggressive, a better team. He doesn't compare it really to the team of a year ago. And yet after building up a 17-0 lead, they find themselves down 21-17, and that could change shortly as the Raiders have had the ball at their 2-yard line.
Don, the other thing is this Kansas City team doesn't win well on the road. That win last week against Buffalo, first they've had in a long time. Next week,
8 straight road games prior to that.
And next week they go to Cleveland on the road.
3rd down and goal. Plunkett looks. Up in there. Incomplete. He tried to get McCallum. It'll be a chip shot field goal, though, for Chris Barr. If he makes it, it'll be a 7-point lead for the Raiders. It could conceivably go to overtime if the Chiefs can mount a drive with 2:57 to play. Let's watch that last one again.
Here's Christensen. Looks like he's delaying to try to get out. Can't really pick up the number. Oh, he is absolutely tackled to the ground. Lewis Cooper just put a 2-point fall on him there, and Christensen's complaining. Should. That would have been a big call. That would have given the Raiders a first down. So Kansas City's still in the game.
Now Chris Barr, they won't be in the game unless they can mount some offense. They've been unable to move the ball for 2.5 quarters. after that big start. Barr's been excellent all season long. He's not missed, nor has his counterpart Nick Lowry for field goals. And so the Chris Barr field goal now gives the Raiders the 7-point advantage, 24-17, with 2:55 to play. Veteran Bill Kenny has come in here in the fourth quarter to quarterback Kansas City. On a third long play, the last time they had the ball, he threw a perfect strike that was dropped. Then the Chiefs had to punt it back to the Raiders.
You know, I'm rather surprised at this Chief crowd. They're already heading for the gates. The team's only down 7 points. Realize in the last.
Most of them are still here, though.
Well, but the aisles are filling with people here heading to try to beat the traffic when we could have overtime.
Bears unload again today. Cleveland has finally won at Pittsburgh.
Wow.
And Washington goes to 5-0. And Detroit beat Houston after Houston's opening day victory. They've come up with nothing. The 4 o'clock game's underway. Now a most important drive for the Kansas City Chiefs. Jim Plunkett, his job well done, replacing the injured Mark Wilson. He has led the Raiders. Now Bill Kenny in for Todd Blackledge will have to direct the Kansas City offense again. Raiders up by 7, 24-17 after trailing early in the second quarter, 17-0. Neil Harry out to the 17, and that's it. Bill Kenny in now to start the drive again if he can with 2:45 left to play. Eight-year veteran from Northern Colorado. He's been with a few teams before he came here as a free agent.
Raiders coming with 5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers, 4-man rush.
Swing pass. Jeff Smith takes down the backfield and back out of bounds. Nicely done by the Chiefs. He is out to about the 27-yard line. First down play, good for almost 9. Jerry Robinson ran him out.
Had Mark Addix out there in front of him. Good idea. You're going to have a lot of people dropping deep. If you can get a running back out there in the flat with an offensive lineman in front of him, one block and you might spring him for 12 or 15 yards. Same defense, Don.
Chiefs have to get it downfield and score a touchdown and an extra point to tie this up. It's 24-17 Raiders with 2:38 to play. Another throw, another catch, another first down as he's out to the 36-yard line. Jeff Smith again. And again, they stop the clock with 2:32 to play.
Jerry Robinson in the coverage. There's John Makovic talking to Boy Screen on the sideline. Well designed. Well done. Stops the clock. The Raiders, the Chiefs still have all their timeouts left in this half, all 3. So they're using it very well. And with 2:32 on the clock, this 30 seconds before the 2-minute warning, very, very important. Use it wisely.
First down and 10 for Kansas City. Big rush. More good pass blocking as Kenny steps in and slides to a halt as he's out to the 38-yard line. Got ahead for only a yard, and the clock ticks.
Go to the line of scrimmage. Hurry up. Come on, come on, come on.
Down, as you see, to 2:12 and running. Kenny ready to throw again on 2nd down and 9. Open man, Henry Marshall. He's down to the 47-yard line of the Raiders.
Very well executed.
At the 2-minute warning. So the Chiefs cross midfield on the perfect throw from Bill Kenny to Henry Marshall. It's first down, Kansas City. We'll be back with the Chiefs down by 7 after this. Kansas City's Arrowhead Stadium. John Makovic, the young head coach of the Chiefs in his 4th year. We've seen his team with a 17-0 lead now turned into a 24-17 deficit. Another dramatic comeback by the Los Angeles Raiders, who've made a business out of those. Now with the veteran quarterback in for Ty Blackledge, Bill Kenny directing the offense. Kansas City has been moving on this drive, and they have it down to the 46-yard line of the Raiders. 1st and 10 with 1:58 to play in the game.
Raiders staying with the same defense, a 4-man front. You got Townsend, Piquel, Long, and Sean Jones, 2 linebackers, Jerry Robinson and Barnes, and 5 defensive backs. And the Chiefs have been able to drive the ball from their own 18-yard line out to the 46 of the Raiders against this defense. They got to feel pretty good about it. Get it to Jeff Smith again. He's been open. He's done an excellent job. Is he in there? No, Boyce Green is. No, Jeff Smith's in there.
2 starters are out of the Raiders secondary. And McElroy was thrown out in the first half. And the ankle problem, Mike Haynes pointed about him because Sam Seals in at right corner. Could be a free play for the Raiders.
Oh,
just a bit short as Kenny's throw down to the 25-yard line comes off the turf at Stephon Page. But there is a marker down.
That is Greg Townsend, too.
93, the defense. Let's wait a second. 93. Defense, neutral zone.
Fredericks, when he wants to speak, is turning his mic off, and when he doesn't want us to hear, he's got his mic on. But it'll bring down 1st and 5. Clock stops. 1:53 left.
The hub of the Raider offense, Marcus Allen, has been out for the past 2 games. And they could go to their first 2 wins of the season even without that great player. Right now, the Raiders digging in on defense. Bill Kenny sets himself with a 1st and 5 play coming up from the 41-yard line of the Raiders. Chiefs need a touchdown and an extra point to tie it. Too much on it. Stephon Page couldn't hold on, and pass a bit too long for him, and the clock stops to 1:48 to play.
Seal in coverage, and Bill Kenny is yelling at Stephon Page. What are you doing there? He's also,
I think he's yelling at
Emil Harry. The wide receiver Harry. And Green. He's yelling at everybody. Come on, run the pattern right.
So it is now 2nd down and 5 for the Chiefs. Arrowhead Stadium sold out on this Alumni Day when all those great Chiefs from the Super Bowl championship team came back. The emotion left the crowd when the Raiders mounted that 21-point comeback. Extended it to a 24-point comeback. Now hold a 24-17 lead.
Blitzing.
Long ball. Man is open, but too high for big Henry Marshall. Sam Seal with him, stride for stride in the coverage, and now a very important down comes up. 3rd down and 5 for the Chiefs at the 41-yard line of the Raiders.
Raiders picked a very opportune time to come with the blitz. Kenny had no choice but just to try to get it to the outside receiver. 2-down area. You can't just figure it on 3rd down. They'll go back and punt. Watch. There's nobody back there. Single coverage everywhere. Kenny just tries to throw it over Sam Seal. I thought Henry Marshall jumped a little too early. Well, that's 3rd down and 5.
Again, the shotgun set with 2 wide receivers set to the right. Kansas City quarterbacks have been sacked 5 times in this game. Incomplete. Not close to a reception. Raiders had everybody covered, including Jeff Barnes, on running back Jeff Smith out of the backfield, and so now it comes down to this play. 4th and 5 for the Kansas City Chiefs with 1:39 to play. If they don't get the first down, they turn over the ball, and the Raiders with a 7-point lead will be in position to run out the clock.
Now, even though the clock stops, Bill Kenny is taking a timeout. He wants to go to the sideline, let his coaches think about this, let his players collect their thoughts, and come back with a 5-yard 4th down conversion here.
We'll be back for the conclusion at Kansas City right after this. Back at Arrowhead. 4th down for Kansas City. Chiefs trail by 7. They have to hit this play. They need 5. They get it. Oh, they lose the ball. Jeff Smith has it stripped from at the 35. Stacy Turan comes from behind and strips the ball. The throw was right there, but the defense was better. And so the Raiders take over the ball, leading 24-17 with 1:34 to play.
I think if Jeff Smith steps back into this football, they make the completion. He runs it right between Barnes, 56, middle of the screen, and Stacy Turan. If he steps back, although that's asking a lot, that's just great defense by the Raiders. How have they done this? The Raiders, 2 weeks in a row, have escaped stolen victories from defeat. Amazing.
Part of their history. Nobody plays beat the clock like the Raiders.
What's that line? Just win, baby.
Didn't look like they were going to early in the game as they were misfiring and falling behind farther and farther. They were down 17-0, the Raiders. And now the game clock ticks down to 1:23 and running. The Chiefs came out with a very inspired, emotional effort, hitting and hopping on all sides. And then the air came out as the Raiders came back. One play that will be most controversial, and it could be headlines, was the first Raider touchdown today. And here it is.
Could be.
Wilson drops to throw. You'll see Doki Williams run an out pattern in the corner of the end zone. Albert Lewis is with him, and the ball is caught, but the other foot is out. One foot was in, one foot was out. Now, in the press box, it was reviewed a number of times by the NFL officials here, and we were then informed while the touchdown stood that there was a miscommunication with the field, that they called down and said it was incomplete. The official on the field construed it to be complete. Raider touchdown went, and the Raiders, with a 7-point margin right now, set to run out the clock if they can with 1:22 to play and get their second win in a row after 3 straight losses.
That certainly was a bit of controversy that will make headlines, but I repeat, it doesn't account for Kansas City just simply going to sleep for the next quarter and a half. They had their chances in the second half, did not make good on any of them.
Producer today for NBC Sports, Kenneth Edmondson. Our director, Jim Cross. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. As we come down the stretch with 1:15 to play, Steve Strahan runs the ball for the LA Raiders. He gets 4 new downs, and that will do it. The California boys will go home a winner again.
Thing about the Raiders, too, this is an incredible second-half team. In the last 3 seasons, the Raiders, who have made the playoffs all 3 years, are 16-6 in the months of November and December. Kansas City, 8-14. There's Van McElroy watching the rest of the game from the sideline. He was kicked out. And the Raiders, against all odds today, without Marcus Allen again, come up with their 2nd straight win.
33 seconds and counting. The tick down counting as the Kansas City Chiefs
Okay, they won't have to run a
look like
play.
they're on their way to a most dramatic victory against these much hated rivals, but instead Tom Flores, who got a Super Bowl ring as a Kansas City Chief, he was the backup to Len Dawson when they won their Super Bowl, comes off the field. Still a little hitch in the get along of Marcus Allen, and all the Raiders run off the field as Makovic and Flores meet at midfield. And with police protection, Coach Flores goes off the field. He didn't do anything but direct the team that won, but there was some untoward moments there during the game when people started swinging.
And this is how the mystique is built. This is how the Raider attitude is what it's based on. It just absolutely, they never say die on this football team. And there has been, before the football game without Marcus Allen, and with the injuries, and with the turnovers in the first quarter, by all rights, this game should have been over a long time ago, and Kansas City writing up a W. And the Raiders, once again, do a job on an AFC Western Division opponent.
So the Raiders are right back in it now with a 2-3 record. The Seattle Seahawks watching this game, getting set to tee it up against the San Diego Chargers tomorrow night. The Denver Broncos getting set to take the field, or they're in the midst of a tough one right now. They're hooking up with the Cowboys at Mile High Stadium. And so the final numbers here at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, the Raiders, with a most amazing comeback, win the game 24-17.
You got to pick the Budweiser most valuable player. I say it's Jim Plunkett.
That's who it is.
Absolutely.
It's time for the most valuable player award, sponsored by Budweiser. Jim Plunkett is the MVP. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of all the MVPs.
About Don Shula either came from outer space or out of Al Davis. And another report about him selling his team, he said that isn't true either. He wants to keep his team.
Well, what about